How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another Counterside video. Guys, we have so much information today. I put off making this one video earlier because I wanted to throw it in with the patch notes. Didn't know how big the patch notes were going to be. And this is going to be a long one, I'm sorry. But we're going to start with the patch notes. So right off the bat, you know what we have coming tomorrow, and that is out of the way. Some of this, yeah, we're just going to dive into it, alright? I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible for you all. Let's talk about all the information because we have the patch notes, we have dev notes, and we had a live stream. So that's three things of information. So let's tackle it. So patch notes tomorrow, normal maintenance compensation, and then what is this? Deletion of dormant accounts. Accounts that have not been used for a long period will be deleted during the maintenance in order to provide optimal gaming environment. That makes sense. A little strange. Will admit, but I'm assuming even if they delete accounts, if you have it linked with something, you should still be able to retrieve it. I don't know about that. So, accounts that have not been accessed in the last year, accounts that with the last login date and account creation date are within 3 days. Okay, yeah. Accounts with a company level of 10 or below, accounts with no payment history, and accounts with no consortium membership history. Each will be carried out for accounts that meet all of the above 5 criteria. Account information cannot be recovered. Okay, so it can't be recovered. But to be fair, with that criteria, you probably aren't coming back to the game anyways at that point. So I understand. It's a scary thought. I know that might have somebody out there somewhere who's going to try to come back to this game. Their account somehow fell into this criteria, and they're going to have lost it, and that sucks. But I kind of understand where they're coming from on it. That's a touchy topic. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I kind of understand it. Sort of makes sense in a way. So, moving on, we have our new counterpass with Leviathanis. This is a unit we have been expecting. They told us, I want to say it was in a dev note that we would be getting her as a counterpass unit, and so we kind of expected her to be next, and here she is. So, Leviathanis, counterpass unit, very exciting. She is a really solid unit. You'll have to forgive me, I don't have her page pulled up ready, but she is a good unit and definitely worth the price of picking up a counterpass, I can tell you that much. But we have 2 counterpasses that are very much worth picking up that we know of in the near future, this being one of them, the other one I will get to soon. There is her kit. Of course, you can always find their kits on Prydwen if you want to take a look at them there, or if you want to pause the video and take a look at it as I scroll through it. There is her art, the full picture of it, very in line with a lot of character arts in this game, so it's very nice. I love that her combat weapon is just like a giant pair of scissors, so that's cool. And I love that they just, give us like all the art, all of it, everything. What an idle animation. All right, this is how Counterpass works. If you don't know how Counterpass works, have you been living under a rock for the last like 15 years? Because this is the same as like any battle pass in any other game, no matter whatever you call it, whatever you want, it's a battle pass. It works the same way. And then a challenge stage for the EEs for the Mason Mercenary Office. So cool there. Returning awakened units for Awakened Yuna, Shinjia. This is a very good awakened unit to have right here. So if you don't have her, might be worth picking up. But hold for some of the other later information before you make that decision, of course. And there's some of that later information that also makes Mina a viable choice as well. But again, hold for later information. And then the returning banners for Lee Yumi, King Soyoung, Rafaela, and that looks like it's it. And then punch in for 30 gold binaries. Everything else here don't really care about. 30 gold binaries, very nice. And then Skia Crow and Christina Brett added to the permanent pool. So Pretty light patch, all things considered. No real new content, a rerun EE stage. Really, it's just the new counter pass. But that's completely fine, because all the other information we have about things to come. Double checking our shop, any interesting packs there? Of course not. So, that's our patch notes. We also had a dev note and a live stream for the half anniversary of New Origin. So there was a lot of juicy information there. I'm going to start with this, which is, Prydwen broke down the live stream. That live stream was at 5 a.m. I could not stay up to watch that live stream. I apologize, but I had no worries because I knew Prydwen had my back. They, of course, compiled all that information for everybody. So, they added, first and foremost, a global server roadmap. Of course, we come over here to the actual dev notes. We get it in a much bigger image, much easier to see. So, August, the actual anniversary month, we have the substream, which is wedding, 3 new wedding skins, and the Prestige Midsummer Tryst, which of course is the Prestige skin for a new Awakened unit, which you see in September, Awakened Regina. New Awakened unit that we'll get in September, so there's your Prestige skin for her. So theoretically, you can get the Prestige skin before you ever get her. So that is August. Those are the big things they point out for August. Take note, there is no new Awakened unit in August. That is a great thing, because that gives us time to save up all of the black tickets for some awesome things to come down the line. In September, we have the substream Frozen Corridors and Counters Saga. This allows us to, of course, Awakened Regina is coming in this. Frozen Corridors, I believe, is the one that is associated with her. We have rearmed Kim Chol-Soo, and then 5 new Bunny Girl skins. So those are the big things they're pointing out for September. October, we have Mainstream Episode 10, Awakened Ray and Awakened Rosaria. 2 awakens in a month. I'll touch on that in just a second. Rearmed Edith. Wait, Rearmed Edith. I'm thinking of someone else. Rearmed Edith. The new ship Tempest and Rearmed Edith. If I remember, I'll come back to that, because I can't remember who Rearmed... I'm mixing names up, because I'm getting Edith mixed up with somebody else, I think. So I'll come back to that. So for Awakened units, you have Ray and Rosaria. For Korea, when they got them on the KR servers, Ray was a Battle Pass, Rosaria was a summonable unit. They're both listed in October, so I'm willing to bet that Ray is the Battle Pass, Rosaria is the one you'll be summoning for. They could flip the two. That's highly unlikely. So that is that second counter pass. Very worth picking up in October with Ray, because free Awakened unit. Very, very nice. So October is going to be a good month. Moving forward into November, we have the Substream Administration Complete and Little Vincent. I don't know off the top of my head or memory which 2 events those are, like the actual context of them, but we also get in November Awakened Lumilla, so one of them is definitely going to be related to her. We get Counterpass Noel, employees, I'm trying to say that's interesting, Felicette and Leica, and this 2 new vacation skins. I will say here, they do point out the new employees, Felicette and Leica here, but they don't point out new employees in any of the other months, just new rearms or new awakened. So, and same thing with the counter pass. So, if we get any new units in September and October, I imagine we will. But I'm going to put a little bit of skepticism, because they don't put it here for some reason, like in the previous months, but they do in November. So I don't know if they said it vocally and it's just not recorded on Prydwen or on the dev notes. I don't know. But these are the things we can say confirmed coming when. And then, of course, in December, we have Substream Dead End Road, Awakened Karen Wong, Counterpass, Rebecca, and Rearmed Ju Shi Young, which I believe Karen and Ju are both related to Dead End Road. So that's our roadmap for the rest of the year. That's all that's left of 2023. That's a little strange to say, considering I started doing these videos in 2022, and I'm still going, even if it's just new stuff. But yeah, so we have an idea of every big thing we're getting for the rest of this year. So that's kind of exciting. We know when we're getting our Awakened units. You can bet I'm getting Ludmilla. You can bet. And with August being a great month to save, I should have enough to pity before Regina gets here. So, see what happens. Fingers crossed. Because I'm still going to be summoning for every Awakened unit. So, let's see what happens. But that's the global server roadmap. We also got to see the new Awakened unit coming to KR in about 48 hours, 24 hours, whatever it is, which is Griffin Rider Chris. Hey, you remember Chris, who we just had on a banner like 2 weeks ago when she dropped and her banner just went away? Well, she's getting an Awakened unit. So I'm very happy that I managed to get her like right before her banner disappeared. Basically at pity, but that's fine. You do what you gotta do. You get what you gotta get. But new Awakened one version of her coming, and I'm very excited about that myself. I do like Chris. She's cool. Awakened Chris will be released for KR on the 26th of July. She'll be a 7-cost air-type supporter. Who focuses on debuffing targets. She also takes the role of dealing burst damage from her ultimate. So another kind of damage-based supporter Awakened unit. So, in case you don't know, we have 3 Awakened supporters with Chris. We have Shinjia, who is very much just very in line with what a support is. Ludmilla, when she comes out, is an Awakened unit, and a very, very, like, she has support elements in that, you know, how she, like, kind of interacts with her team, but she very much is kind of akin to, oh, I'm forgetting her name. I can't remember her name. But you probably know who I'm talking about. But she's a very kind of damage-oriented support, and it looks like this kind of what we're getting here is a debuff and damage-oriented support. So, I don't know. When I think support, my mind doesn't always go to damage and debuffs and stuff. I'm thinking of the healing and buffs. So, but that is what she is. She's a support. You know, just ignore me. We're just gonna keep going. There's her PV. It's on the KR YouTube channels page, so you can go check that out. New employee Praga. If you recall, we got a Danger Close boss with her name. So I guess it's her. This is her after that form, before that form. I don't know. But we're getting her as a unit, and if you recall, that Danger Close boss sucked, but we're looking forward to a unit. Yeah. New SSR employee that will not directly attack enemies, but instead grant allies useful effects, but also hindering enemy skills. And she is, obviously by appearance, a member of the Elysian Philharmonic, so you can expect maybe some synergy there, but still very cool. New Awakened employee, Awakened Moors. So we got to look at another Awakened unit, probably going to be the one after Chris. But all we know about her is that she's got she's gone through a lot of design changes from her base version, and we'll get more information about her in September. So look forward to September. Maybe we'll learn a little bit about her then. And that there may also be another Awakened, it says mechanic, I think it means machine or mech, in development, and its concept is revolved around dinosaurs. So heck yeah, dinosaurs, love it. Does that mean we're gonna get a whole bunch of like dinosaur-oriented mech units? You can bet I will play mechs in like PvP just for that meme, for the dinosaurs. 3 new swimsuit skins are coming in KR that we will eventually get. We may get these at the same time, actually. I don't know. It's for Noelle, Nicole, and Grimory. So the only unit I don't have of those 3... Well, actually, Noelle's not out in global yet, so I guess I don't have her. Or am I forgetting? I might be forgetting, but I don't think she's out in global yet. I don't have Nicole. You have Grimmery. So, not that I'm getting these, but well, eventually maybe. And then a prestige system rewards. The Awakened Regina McCree skin. Talked about this earlier. It's the new skin for Regina and the prestige system for spending so many admin coins. And they're renewing the collection screen. They told us about this a long time ago, and I'm glad they haven't forgotten about it. You get a kind of a look of what it looks like here, and it's really nice. It gives you, more improved distribution of information about characters when you go to the collection screen. It's like here it says it gives you their height, date of birth, specialties, etc. So maybe it'll finally help clarify what powers counters actually have, or how they work a little bit, because sometimes that's very ambiguous, and it would be nice to have some kind of information. And also maybe it'll explain if a unit is actually a counter or not, because there are some units who are in-game as soldiers, story calls them counters, and vice versa. So some clarification on these things would be nice. I'm really excited about this system. I really want to see it as somebody who's kind of a self-proclaimed lore junkie. So a new employee upgrade system, Alternium Reactors. This is explained a little bit better in the, well, not a little bit better, but they have a little bit more detail here in the dev notes, so when we go over to that. But it's similar to the rearm system. Current old employees that are considered weak will receive the update system by using Alternium Reactors. The unlocking condition for the upgrade will be level 110, all skills level 5. And Alternium Reactors are available from playing the game. Each character will have 5 tiers on the upgrades. These employers are scheduled to receive Alternium Reactors upgrades on the 9th of August. Awakened Hilda, Old Administration Li Xian, and Na Yubin. So since they specifically point out Awakened Hilda, this is regular Na Yubin, past Na Yubin. And on the 16th of August, Awakened Yumina. So there's why I say Yumina might be very nice to get now, I guess, because there are some. They give us a kind of a glance at her buffs, I think, in the stream, from what I understand, people saying online or something, and it looks really good. But as well as on the 16th of August, you get Yumina Awakened, Lee Yumi, Jaina Kropel. We'll see their Alternium Reactor upgrades. Like I said, the dev note goes into this a little bit more. The new PvE gimmick Origin. The Origin system will be introduced into PvE content, which works similarly to the role advantage mechanics, which when units are from the correct origin, they will deal more damage or take less damage. The system will not be implemented to the Gauntlet, so it's not in PvP, strictly PvE. It's similar to role advantage, so basically it's going to be kind of like groups have special effects against other groups. So like Elysium Philharmonic is good against Maze Division, and Maze Division is good against this, I guess. That's the best way I can think of it, but maybe it's not as strict as that. Maybe it's a little bit more vague. We'll see. I can't remember if the dev notes explain this a little anymore or whatnot, so we'll take a look when we get there. Improvements to workshop crafting. After the update, crafting items from the workshop will no longer consume time. Additional crafting slots will be removed, and any quartz spent on expanding the slots will be refunded. So everybody who's bought all those extra slots, which I think almost every player has, you got some free quartz coming to you as a refund. And no crafting time. Yay! That's actually kind of fantastic. Half anniversary event rewards. Half anniversary rewards include the following. So these are things we'll be getting in August at some point, probably through some kind of capital point event, because that's usually how they do their big rewards. Because you can't get everything, you can only get most of the things, unless you spend money. No, maybe not. Maybe some free-to-play players do. I don't know. But I've never gotten everything from a capital point event. I've only gotten the important stuff. Anyways, the rewards include a 1 Awakened Employee Selector, up to Finals Phase Sigma for Global, and up to Karen for KR. So, a selector with... It says up to Sigma, so it doesn't say it's excluding anybody. So that's a lot of Awakened employees to pick. I recommend Sigma, because after those buffs that we got a couple weeks ago, oh boy, she's good, and she's very dominatingly present in PvP, I've seen, and really good in PvE. Yeah, she's great. But there's a lot of other things, so maybe you summon for Sigma, so you don't need to do that. Who knows? A lot of good units in there to pick from. Some of them getting upgrades, as we just discussed. I did say that I expected this in one of my previous videos, and that's why I wasn't going to summon for Maria. But I did a cheeky multi on Maria and got her anyways, so I'm really free for choice here. I don't know what to pick. And there are plenty of people out there like me who probably don't know what to pick because they have it all. I'm sure, so I don't know what to use this for. I don't know what would be the best choice. I'll think about that. Get back to y'all when it's actually in the game, maybe. And then a random Awaken Selector, so which will be available from a coupon on August 2nd. So next week we should get a coupon with a random Awaken Selector, or Selector, random Awaken ticket. So that may make choices easier for some people. Doesn't say what that goes up to though. 2 SSR employee selectors, 1 random SSR employee ticket, 1 SSR ship selector, 1 SSR operator selector, 4 Breacha and inhibitor relic gear selectors. It does just say gear selectors, not set selectors to be specific, so keep that in mind, but still very nice. Yeah, so there's a lot of nice things that are coming with the 6-month origin anniversary, which was kind of expected. So expect a lot of good stuff over the next month that we can kind of get our hands on. It's very exciting. Other new content systems, a new raid boss called Kraken. I don't know if that means like raid or co-op raid. I think it means like your world map raids, your operation dispatch raids, I think is what it means, but I could be wrong. Halloween episode in skin, a new Prydwen event story for October, Operator Sysop and Lenore as a playable employee. You just did the Nanahara event, you know the name Lenore, she was very present, so she's coming. And then Sysop for the new main story that was just added, and even a little bit before that we know who Sysop was. So Operator Sysop, very exciting. Do love me a good operator, simply just to have. And then Awakened Ministra Bunny Girl skin from the skin contest will be added first, followed by other skins in from the contest. So things to look forward to coming in the future. This is all going to come to KR first, so we'll see it there. So it'll be a while before you actually hear about it here on this channel, considering I generally only cover news for global. But other changes that are being discussed, a high-ranked PvP system. Person from Prydwen who put this down said, you know, it could be so much of a draft mode, but they don't say. And then more enhancement systems on the ships. I feel like they need to polish up the current one before they start doing this, but that's just me, because the current one is way too skewed towards people who spend money. But all the same, that's everything that was covered in the stream. Gave a big look at things to come, specifically in the next few months before the end of 2023. So pretty exciting there. If we go over to the dev notes, of course, here's the alternating reactor bit, which, you know, it's similar to rearms, but not at the same time. It's weird. Look at it in the sense that rearms technically make a unit a whole new unit, and alternium reactors basically are just how they're reworking a unit's kit instead of just reworking the kit. I feel like they should have just reworked the kit, but that's just me. So it's a growth system created to assist units that are left behind due to power inflation over time due to stronger units releasing at a later time. As of this moment, there is already a growth system called Rearmament and Counterside, but this system requires a tremendous amount of resources. And we also came to the conclusion that this is the cause of the power inflation. Well, yeah, because you really vamped up some units with it. To reduce the total amount of required expenditures and just the power inflation to a certain degree, the alternating reactor system is developed. The requirements to unlock the alternating reactor for each unit is reach level 110 and level 5 of all the skills. We also require 2 new currencies, pure possibilities, tuning cores, and credits. For pure possibilities can be earned through daily punch-ins, events, or other limited places. Second, the tuning core can be acquired by combining factor binders from supply operations and the APT cores. As mentioned earlier, the resources consumed by the Alternating Reactor can only be obtained through gameplay. We plan to continuously monitor and adjust the difficulty requiring these resources. Pure possibility there, tuning core there, factor binder there, creating them. Yeah, there you go. So tuning cores, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory in that regard. But they say here, you know, that I want to point this out. To reduce the amount of total required expenditures and adjust the power inflation. Talking about this, that the rearmament requires a tremendous amount of resources. Your answer is to make a new system that also requires more resources, because the cores and stuff were never the hard thing to get. The rearm data is very difficult to get now because you changed the way, you know, unit dupes work. Not because the resource is technically hard to get, though it is now because of that. But the hard thing is getting a unit to level 110 and level 5 on skills. Most people burn through info, and especially the, you know, red skill manuals very fast, and that's a lot of fusion cores that you don't really hand out nearly enough. There's almost 300 units in this game, and yeah, there's no way you have enough fusion cores, especially when your R's, like all of your units now need cores in some way or shape or form, because you can't use dupes like you used to limit break it. So now you need cores even more. So you're just making it... You've not eliminated the problem. You just changed the amount of, like, the lesser needed materials. Because you need 3 counter cores, 3 factor binders to get a tuning core. 1 tuning core, mind you. So it's a new material you have to get somehow, mixed with 3 of your cores. And it doesn't say if it's special cores or regular cores. It doesn't really say. Still more credits that you have to use, which everybody always needs credits. And then you have to level your Alternium reactors, which takes a number of tuning cores, which adds up. You've not fixed any problem. You've just remade the problem and presented it as something new and not a problem. That's all you've done with this. So the alternative reactors, it's just rearming, but they just made it more... They just gave it a different name and more complex because they think there's a bad disposition from the player base for rearms, because rearms have been a cause of power inflation because of how much they've up-tuned units with rearms, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just their balancing isn't great. There's a lot that can be said from this. I've seen a lot of discussions on this, like even in my own consortium Discord, people were talking about it. It's... Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. If y'all want to share your opinions or thoughts on this, feel free to down in the comments. Keep it civil though. Not everyone's gonna agree with each other, but yeah, it's... I don't hate the system. I just think it's... They're not addressing the problem in any way that they're trying to address. Not that I necessarily see the problem as a problem. They're just doing things in an overcomplicated manner when it's really just not necessary. Like they just, I don't know, man. I don't know how I want to word that. It's just not. They're not doing what they say they're doing here in terms of making things easier or less material intensive. And all they're doing is basically rearming a unit. But again, you're not rearming it. Just rearming it, you do technically change the unit to a new unit. This is literally just reworking their kits. You just have to use resources to do so. Because, for instance, Awakened Hilda will still be Awakened Hilda. She won't be like how what's a good example that I can think of off the top of my head? It's not like how Alex becomes Breakbeat Alex after you rearmor. She's still just Awakened Hilda. So it's just her kit now has a buff to it. But you have to expend your resources to give her that buff. They just don't buff her. And I think that's my biggest problem with this system, is they're basically just buffing units that are old, that need buffs, that weren't, properly designed for long term and don't see a lot of use, don't see enough use in their eyes, or something like that, to make old units more relevant, I guess. Instead of just buffing them, they're making you expend more resources to buff them. Which, the worst thing about this system is they don't explicitly state how clear or how easy some of those materials are to get. They show you some of it there in the little charts, sure. The tuning cores. But they don't tell you how easy it is to get the other things, the pure possibilities and whatnot. So you need at least 5, I guess, to get the for one unit you need at least 5 pure possibilities, and I guess 180 tuning cores. There you go. So, and for 180 tuning cores, multiply that by 3 and you need that many factor binders. So they don't really say how easy it is to get that stuff. Yeah, this is just, I just think it's kind of dumb. I think it's just overcomplicating stuff. And it's not great for a new player. I don't see how this is in any way going to be great for a new player. I don't think they're fixing a problem with this. I think they're kind of making another one. But we'll see. It remains to be seen. Effects listed with his other portraits has their Reactor upgrade. So for Hilda, when she's deployed on the field, all units after her will receive an unremovable 8% barrier. Since Hilda's big thing is starting with Hilda, because she is a frontline tank. She pushes. So it's 8% barrier that she gets. Lucian you get a deployment resource back, so she basically becomes an SSR version of I can't remember her name, but she has like the 2 shotguns with the money effects. Everybody has her, everybody uses her. They're basically just trying to make Suyeon an SSR version of her, I guess. Na Yubin, when opponents are struck by his special skill, they will be under a nullify barrier effect for 12 seconds. Nice little utility on him. Yumina will cast special skill regardless of current cooldown status and will be immortal for 10 seconds before her death. So basically, when you're about to kill her, she'll cast her skill, her special skill, and then she gets 10 seconds of immortality. Pretty good. And then, so for Jaina, when her passive is active, her attack speed will increase by 100%, as well as her fury count. Her fury will count as 2 instead of 1 for each basic attack. Pretty good. I don't know how well that plays into her kit, but that's 100% increase your attack speed is nice. Lee Yumi, upon casting special, a 20% barrier relative to her maximum HP will be applied to herself. That's nice for a defender, just in terms of survivability. So I'm sure she's already a decent tank. A little, outclassed now because of some rearms, but this does definitely make her viable again, I guess. The employees in the example above will first receive their Alternium Reactor upgrades. The number of employees with the Alternium Reactor upgrades will increase through future updates. The reactor is composed of 5 levels, with each update, selected employees will sequentially unlock each level of the reactor. All the employees will be able to unlock 1 reactor level per update, and is not planned for all 5 levels to be locked at once on an update. The specification of the Alternium Reactor's examples above may change. So, there you go. You're not meant to get any one unit to 5 per update. So you're getting, with 3 units in an update, you're getting 3 reactors in that update somewhere. I don't know, man. Suffice it to say, I'm not a fan. And especially now, like for long-standing players, you know, people that have been here, this is fine for new players in a sense, because you know they can use this instead of having to worry about getting all of the resources and the rearmament data and stuff to rearm a unit. Sure, it means they can use this reactor on one of these units that they pull. But for us long-standing units or players, why would we use Yumi in place of Alex? I can't see a reason. Nothing about that ability makes me think, you know, I would use her over Breakbeat Alex. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Okay, so here's a little bit more on the origin system they were talking about. When creating a new unit, the development team always thoughtfully planned its purpose in the game. However, with the accumulation of the service, we concluded that the combat in the game is getting complicated. It's not really that complicated, but okay. The result is not being able to provide all the necessary information to the players for them to strategize new levels and having difficulties in setting appropriate difficulties for each content. To be more intuitive and get the upper hand in PvE, we have developed the origin system. It is a concept similar to the combination of unit roll advantage and type. If units with the correct origin are deployed on the field, then those will deal more damage or take less damage from the monster. The goal of the origin system is to provide players with the excitement of strategizing through content by deploying current units based on the system. This will not be applied to the new released units. It will not only be to the new released units, but also that will release added sometime back. Okay, so this does clear up something on the origin system that I said before. So scratch what I said, like, you know, 5 minutes ago. This is basically like it'll be a buff on a mission in PvE. If you're using units that are of that origin, they get a buff. So that's a lot more straightforward and better explained. I like that. That's pretty good. There's your prestige skin. That's that. This is they talk about, you know, changing the prestige thing a little bit so that it's a little bit more rewarding for people, essentially. So if you care about that, you can pause and kind of read that. But that's strictly in the territory of Wales. Here's their prestige rewards. Prestige random box, which is one of the things it talks about up there. So yeah, there you go. Prestige system. There's a multi-purchase feature on today's deals. Previously, you had to click items individually to purchase them. Now you can, you know, do multiple at once. Cool. Workshop improvement. Talked about that. So, Swift Relic Gear improvement. And also, Dimension Relic Gear improvement. In interest of time, there is a lot here. So I won't kind of read it like all. I'll just... The big things. Upon crafting Swift Relic Gear, the probability of crafting SSR and SR rarity is increased by more than 100%, and the R has decreased by 50%. And then for the Dimension Gear, the required number of gears for some sets will be reduced from 4 to 2 to make the gear a little bit more viable. So basically getting good Swift gear a little bit easier, and Relic Gear, the Dimension Trimming Gear has some more interesting options available to you. Like big ones are the HP2, CDR2, and Attack Speed 2. CDR2 and Attack Speed 2 are 2-piece sets. So, you know, you can mix things, which is really kind of nice and will be important for some units, almost definitely. Being able to mix that CDR with like attack or attack speed, that's kind of nice. There are units who will definitely go for that. So that's, you know, pretty nice, as well as like anti-ground, anti-air, you know, regardless, it's nice. And then a 4-piece HP set, which I think all 4-piece HP2 set is better than 2 HP2 sets. So running that instead of, you know, the 2 HP sets. So it's basically, you know, the opposite. Yeah. You get it. So that's really nice. Dimension Trimming Gear, it's making Dimension Trimming Gear far more valuable, and admittedly gives more of a reason to farm for it. So that's really exciting and really cool. It definitely makes me go, oh, I should finally start working on my Dimension Trimming, because I haven't yet. And then, you know, some adjustments to the Swift gear, trying to make it a bit more viable, which is nice and good. And is it needed? Maybe a little bit, not a whole lot. So that's very, very nice. And there's some other things here. And as you clear dimension trimming, the probability of obtaining dimension cubes increases. As of the 70th stage, they reduced the time required to craft one maze gear by approximately 40%. Some dimension relic gear have some first tune options removed, and more specialized options will be added, and the old stuff will be referred to as legacy gear after the August 9th update, and it will no longer be craftable. You can still continue to sell legacy gear and use them to craft new relic gears. Adjusting their proportions on option values, and like there's all of that there. So ultimately, it's making Swift gear, Jungle gear, and Volcano gear way more viable in the long run, I think, is what they're aiming to do. And I think they kind of have. They definitely make it look more appealing. So that's very, very cool, especially the Jungle and Volcano gear with the CDR2 and Attack Speed 2 options. Giving you that option for some units was probably very nice, because before it's always, is what you're doing worth giving up all of the cooldown? Or do you really want all of the attack speed? Being able to mix the two or mix them with other things in general, very nice. So yeah, should do that with just all the gear in general. Should have that option. But so yeah, that's the last thing. There's a lot more to the gear stuff. So if you want to read this yourself, I will of course include the link to all of this in the description below. Check it out yourself if you'd like. And if you want to read over these yourself, it's had a lot to say here with the dev note because of the reactors specifically, but it's just, there's a lot to say about it. But yeah, this is gone on super long. I don't expect many of you to watch all the way to the end here, but thank you to each and every one of you who did. I do appreciate it. Leave me your thoughts down in the description below. I want to hear what you think about all these things that are coming. For the most part, good things. For the most part, there's a lot of good things coming, and I am very excited. And I hope you all are too. Hit like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Counterside news, content, and of course, I will, as I say so many times in these videos, be looking for other things to bring you news and info on in other games that catch my interest, when another one catches my interest, so, but definitely, more Counterside always. I do love this game, and I really hope the devs get, you know, their head out of their ass and, you know, start listening, because I'm a little upset, but I'm not done. I will keep with this game. I love this game, and I hope for a better tomorrow. So I will see you all in the next one. Probably not going to be anywhere near as meaty as this. I'll let you all go because it's been way too long. Peace.